This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On Air.
Grab your bookmarks and pack your imagination. This is Parishays Book Club on OAR FM Youth Zone, where stories come alive. We're diving in 3, 2, 1. Assalamualaikum and Kira everyone. My name is Parishay and you are listening to Parishays Book Club, where stories come alive. This is my very first episode, and I'm really excited that you are here with me today. I'm also a tiny bit nervous because this is all new for me, but mostly I'm happy to be talking about books with you. If you love reading or you are just starting to enjoy books, or even if you're not sure about reading yet, but you like good stories, then you are in the right place. On this show, we are going to talk about stories, characters, and all the funny, strange, and sometimes serious things that happen inside books. We will think about what we would do if we were in the story, and we will notice the little details that make a book special. Over the next few months, I'll be inviting my friends, my teachers, and maybe even some authors to join me. Together we will share our favorite parts of different books, talk about the bits that made us laugh, and the parts that made us stop and think. Today, though, because it is the very first episode, it is just me and you. I'm going to introduce myself properly, tell you what this program is about, and then we will dive into two very funny books from the Tom Gates series by Liz Pitchin. So get comfortable, maybe grab a snack, or even your own book to hold while you listen. And let us start our very first meeting of Parishays Book Club. So, you might be wondering, who is this voice you are listening to? And why does she have her own book club on the radio? As I said before, my name is Parishay. I am 10 years old, and I am in year 6. During the day, I am a pretty normal student. I have to do maths, writing, reading, topic work, and all the usual things. At interval and lunch, I hang out with my friends, and we talk about school, games, and sometimes about books, if we are reading something exciting. When I'm not at school, there is a good chance you'll find me with my nose in a book. I like reading in the car, on the couch, in my bed, and sometimes in places where I probably should not be reading, like at the table when I'm supposed to be helping. My parents are quite patient, but they do have to remind me to put the book down and actually eat my dinner. I also love writing. I have already started working on my first book, and I'd really like to publish it one day. I will not tell you the whole story today, but it has characters and ideas that have been living in my head for a long time, and writing them down feels like letting them walk around in the world. For me, books are kind of superpower. They can take you to places you have never seen, let you walk in someone else's shoes, and sometimes say the exact thing you are feeling but do not know how to explain it. That is why I wanted to start Parishays Book Club. I wanted a place where kids can talk about books in our own way, where there are no tests, no grades, and no "you must finish this by Friday." Just honest conversations, curiosity, and a bit of fun. If you stay with me on this journey, I hope you will find new books to read, new characters to love or hate, and maybe even ideas for your own stories. Let me explain a little bit more about how this show will work. Each episode, we will focus on one book, or sometimes 2 books that are connected, maybe from the same series or with a similar theme. We'll start with a quick summary, so if you have not read the book yet, you still understand what is going on. But I will not try to spoil the really big twists. Then we will talk about our favorite parts, the characters we like and do not like, and what the book might be trying to tell us about real life. Sometimes the theme might be friendship, sometimes it might be family, or school, or being brave, or feeling different. Sometimes it might just be pure silly fun. Most episodes will also have a fun segment, like a quiz, a little game, or a what would you do challenge, where you can think along in the car or at home. At the end of each show, I will give you a small book club challenge. It might be to draw something, write a short scene, try a different kind of book, or talk to someone about a story you like. In future episodes, I will invite guests to join me, like my friends, teachers, librarians, and maybe even authors, so it feels like a real book club with more than one voice. But today, because it is the first time, it is just me. And I thought, if I'm starting a brand new show, I should start with books that are fun, full of doodles, and very real about school life. So for episode 1, we are going into the slightly messy, very funny world of Tom Gates by Liz Pitchen. If you have never met Tom Gates before, let me paint a picture with words. Tom is a boy who loves drawing, making music with his band Dog Zombies, hanging out with his friends, and sometimes annoying his big sister Delia. The books are written a bit like a diary. There are lots of funny drawings and doodles all over the pages, and sometimes the pictures are the part of the joke. You do not just read the story, you also look around to see what Tom has scribbled in the corners. The author, Liz Pitchen, writes the words and also does the pictures. The covers of the books are full of little drawings and speech bubbles. And inside, the text sometimes changes size or shapes to match what Tom is feeling. What I like about the Tom Gates series is that it feels very close to real school life. There are teachers, homework, school projects that go wrong, annoying classmates, parents who are sometimes embarrassing, and grandparents who are very funny. There are lots of jokes and silly moments, but there are also small things that feel real, like worrying about homework, trying to do well in class, or dealing with family disasters. Today, I'm talking about 2 books from the series, Tom Gates, Yes, No, Maybe, and Tom Gates, Excellent Excuses, and Other Good Stuff. Both of them show Tom getting into and out of trouble in very creative ways. Let us start with Yes, No, Maybe. In Tom Gates, Yes, No, Maybe, Tom has a lot of decisions to make, and most of them are annoying. At home, his mom is on a giant cleaning mission. She wants him to finally tidy his room and decide what to keep and what to throw away. If he does not decide, she will decide for him, which is basically every kid's nightmare. If you like keeping random stuff like old ticket stubs, dried pens, and tiny toys. At the same time, Tom's family are getting ready for a boot sale, which is like a garage sale from the back of your car. They're trying to get rid of old stuff and make a bit of money. In all the chaos, they accidentally sell Tom's mom's favorite brooch to an elderly lady for just $1. Imagine realizing that your family has sold something your mom really loves, and it is all your fault, or you feel like it's your fault. At school, there is a business day where Tom and his friends plan to make cakes to sell. That sounds simple, but of course it turns into a disaster. Tom's Delia suggests making popcorn instead, and somehow they end up with blue popcorn, which is exactly as weird as it sounds. So in this book, Tom is dealing with a messy bedroom and a mom who wants to throw things out, a lost favorite brooch, a school business day that is going wrong, and the usual problems with Delia and the teachers and the classmates. Here are 3 things I really like about this book. Number 1, it shows how hard it can be to make decisions like keep or throw away. Adults sometimes think it's easy, but if you're a kid, every little object can have a story, so it feels like you're throwing away memories, not just stuff. Number 2, the brooch story is funny, but it also feels kind of serious. It shows how a small mistake can feel huge, especially when it upsets someone you love. I like how Tom's grandparents, who he calls the fossils, help with the problem. They make things lighter, but they also show that grown-ups can fix mistakes together. Number 3. The school business day is just pure chaos. It made me think about times when teachers have a perfect plan in their heads, and then something unexpected happens, and the whole thing goes in a totally different direction. When I read yes, no, maybe, one part of that felt really real for me was the cleaning and tidying bit. Sometimes my parents also decide that it is tidy up day, and suddenly every single paper and tiny toy I own is on the floor, and I have to decide what to do with it. It feels impossible, even if it is just a drawer or a shelf. So for me, this book is about choices, about small disasters like the brooch, and about how families panic a bit and then find a way through it together. Now let us talk about the second book for today. Tom Gates, Excellent Excuses and Other Good Stuff. In this book, there is no school for 2 whole weeks. For Tom, that sounds like the best thing ever. He has a big list of good stuff he wants to do. Annoying Delia, practicing with his band Dog Zombies, watching TV, eating treats, and basically doing anything except homework. But of course, life does not just stop because school is closed. Tom has a really sore tooth. He has homework that is still not finished, and he wants to move up on Mr. Philemon's Gold Star Award chart. So he starts coming up with excellent excuses for why things are not done. The excuses are very creative and very funny, but the problems do not actually go away. He is also dealing with classmates like Marcus, who always seems to be watching for Tom to mess up. Here are 3 things I like about this book. Number 1, it shows how tempting it is to ignore homework when school is closed. I think a lot of us have that feeling. The holidays arrive, and we tell ourselves, I will do it later. I have loads of time. And then, suddenly, it is the night before school starts again. Number 2, I really like the band Dog Zombies. Tom cares about music, and he wants to make something cool with his friends. Even if things go wrong, it shows that sometimes your hobbies and your creative projects are just as important to you as schoolwork. Number 3, the excuses are very funny, but the book also quietly shows that excuses do not really fix anything. In the end, you still have to face the thing you are trying to avoid, whether it is homework, a teacher, or a dentist. When I read this book, I thought about the times when I have tried to move my homework to tomorrow, and then tomorrow again. Sometimes I tell myself I will finish a project after one more chapter or one more video, and suddenly it is bedtime. So for me, Excellent Excuses is about procrastination, which is a big word that means putting things off, and about how being funny and creative is great, but you still need to be responsible sometimes. Now, it is time for a little game I call Excuse or Good Idea. I will say a few sentences. You can decide if each one is an excuse that is really not okay, or a good idea that actually makes sense. You can play along in the car, or at home, or just in your head. Number 1, I did not do my reading because I was helping my little brother or sister get ready for bed. Take a second to think, excuse or good idea. For me, that sounds like a good idea, because helping family is important. But maybe after that you still need to find a little time to read, even if it is just a few pages. Number 2, I could not finish my homework because I was watching funny videos for 3 hours. This one definitely feels like an excuse. I think we all know deep down that 3 hours of videos is a choice. Number 3. I practice my spelling by writing a song that uses all my spelling words. I think that is actually a good idea because you are still doing the learning, just in a fun and creative way, like something Tom Gates might do if he was being sensible. Number 4. My dog ate my homework. This is a classic excuse you hear in stories. You can decide for yourself if you believe it. Personally, I'd want the dog to looking a bit guilty. The reason I like this game is that Tom Gates' books are full of funny excuses, but they also make us think. What is a real reason, and what is just a story I'm telling because I do not want to do something? If you want to, you can make up your own excuse or good idea. Examples later and test them on your friends or family. Now, it is time we start the questions. Before we finish, I want to ask you a few questions. You do not have to answer out loud. Just think in your head or talk about it later with someone at home. Question 1. If you're a Tom and you accidentally sold your mom's favorite thing at a boot sale, what would you do to fix it? Would you tell her straight away? Would you try to find the person who bought it? Or would you come up with a different plan? Question 2. If you had 2 weeks off like in Excellent Excuses, how would you balance fun things like games and TV with things you still have to do, like homework or chores? What would a good day off look like for you? Question 3. If you could join Tom's band Dog Zombies, what instrument would you play? Or would you be the singer? Or maybe the songwriter or the band manager? And now, here is your book club challenge for the week. You can choose one of these. Draw a picture of Tom or of yourself in the Tom Gates style with doodles and speech bubbles about your day. Or write your own excellent excuse for something like not cleaning your room, but then also write what you should really do instead. If you want to share it, you can show it to your family, your teacher, or your friends, and tell them it came from Parishays Book Club. Maybe one day we can even read some of your ideas on the show. Now, I'm just going to read a tiny bit from one of the Tom Gates books. Here's just a short part that shows how Tom Gates thinks. Mr. Fuleman, my form teacher, makes the whole class stand outside our room. He says, "Welcome back, class 5F. I've got a big surprise for you all," which is not good news. Oh no, he's rearranged all the desks. I'm now sitting right at the front of the class. Worse still, Marcus Moni Meldrew is next to me. This is a disaster. How am I going to draw my pictures and read my comics? Sitting at the back of the class, I could avoid the teacher's glares. I'm so close to Mr. Fuleman, now I can see up his nose. That was a small taste of the Tom Gates world. If you enjoyed it, you might like to read the whole books and see what other disasters and excellent excuses Tom comes up with. Thank you so much for listening to the very first episode of Parishays Book Club, where stories come alive. In future episodes, I'll invite some of my friends and teachers to join me, so we can talk about more books together and hear more than one point of view. If you have a favorite book you think I should talk about, you can tell your family or teacher, and maybe they can help you send that suggestion to the station. For now, I hope you have a good day or night, wherever you are. Assalamu alaikum and Kira. Take care and happy reading. Thanks for joining our book club. I hope you enjoyed today's pick. You can listen to all our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and oar.org.nz. Parishays Book Club airs fortnightly Fridays at 4:30 p.m. on OAR FM 105.4 FM and 1575 AM. I'm Parishay. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep turning pages.
This podcast was produced by OAR FM Dunedin with support from New Zealand On the Air.